Welcome to Rare Breed Brotherhood. Solitude is the strength of those who know themselves. Most people believe that having a strong social circle is a sign of success. They assume that if someone has no friends, it means they're lonely, broken, or socially awkward. But that's not always the truth. Sigma males, those rare, independent men who move in silence, often walk alone, not because they can't have friends, but because they choose not to. In a world obsessed with fitting in, the Sigma male is a disruptor. He doesn't crave validation, doesn't need constant companionship, and certainly doesn't waste time on shallow connections. He values depth over drama, loyalty over numbers, and growth over mindless socializing. While most people rely on friendships to feel seen or supported, the Sigma male finds strength in solitude. He operates on a different wavelength, one that most will never understand. But let's be clear, this path isn't easy. There will be moments when the world tries to convince you that you're missing out, that you need to soften up or be more social. Don't fall for it. The truth is, friendships should add to your life, not drain it. And if that means walking alone, so be it. This is not about loneliness. This is about power. If you've ever felt like an outsider, like you don't belong, watch this video. It's time to understand why the Sigma male stands apart, and why that might just be his greatest advantage. Number 1. They are too brutally honest for most people. Most people say they want honesty, but the truth is, they only want honesty when it's convenient, when it makes them feel good, when it reassures them, when it aligns with what they already believe. The moment honesty becomes uncomfortable, friendships start to crack. That's why Sigma males often find themselves alone. They don't sugarcoat. They don't soften their words to protect fragile egos. They don't tell people what they want to hear just to keep the peace. They speak the truth exactly as it is, and most people can't handle it. A Sigma male will tell a friend when they're making a mistake, not out of cruelty, but because he refuses to stand by and watch them self-destruct. He won't entertain excuses, won't tolerate victim mentality, and won't pretend everything is fine when it's clearly not. To some, this level of honesty feels like an attack. To the weak-minded, it's offensive, but to those who truly seek growth, it's priceless. The problem? Most people don't want to grow. They want validation, not truth. This brutal honesty also exposes the cracks in people's facades. Most friendships operate on unspoken rules. Don't challenge me, don't call me out, don't make me uncomfortable. Sigma males break all of these rules without hesitation. They don't do it to be mean. They do it because they see no value in fake friendships built on lies. And when people realize they can't manipulate, deceive, or control a Sigma male, they pull away. In the end, a Sigma male would rather walk alone than surround himself with people who can't handle the truth. He has no interest in playing social games, no patience for fragile egos, and no time for people who mistake honesty for cruelty. This is why he stands apart. This is why he has 0 friends. But make no mistake, his solitude is not a weakness, it's a statement. A declaration that he will never lower his standards just to make others comfortable. Number 2. They see through fake friendships instantly. Most friendships are built on unspoken transactions. People stick around as long as they're getting something in return. Maybe it's emotional support, status, entertainment, or just someone to pass the time with. But the moment the balance shifts, the friendship crumbles. Sigma males see through this instantly. They don't need weeks or months to figure out if someone is genuine. They know within minutes. They pick up on the little things, the forced laughter, the selective loyalty, the way people disappear when there's nothing left to gain. And once they spot it, they're done. No second chances, no explanations, just silence. This makes them unpredictable. Most people expect friendships to follow a script, meet, bond, exchange favors, and maintain the illusion of loyalty. But Sigma males refuse to play along. They don't fake enthusiasm, don't pretend to care about pointless drama, and don't entertain conversations just for the sake of socializing. If someone's energy feels off, if their intentions seem self-serving, they walk away without hesitation. And this unsettles people. It forces them to confront the uncomfortable truth that their relationships might not be as deep as they thought. This ability to see through facades isn't just a skill, it's a curse. It isolates them. While others can enjoy surface-level connections without overthinking, Sigma males can't ignore the signs. They know when someone is only reaching out because they need something. They notice when conversations are empty, when loyalty is conditional, and when someone is only present out of habit, not genuine care. It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. This is why Sigma males have no patience for fake friendships. They would rather walk alone than entertain shallow relationships built on convenience. They don't chase, they don't beg, and they certainly don't tolerate insincerity. Their solitude isn't a flaw. It's a refusal to settle for anything less than real. And in a world full of masks, that makes them dangerous. Number 3, they can't tolerate drama and gossip. Most people thrive on drama, whether they admit it or not. Gossip fuels conversations, petty conflicts keep friendships alive, and pointless arguments become a form of entertainment. But Sigma males? They have zero tolerance for any of it. The moment they sense unnecessary emotional chaos, they're gone. No warnings, no drawn-out goodbyes, just complete disconnection. It's not because they're cold or antisocial. It's because they see drama for what it truly is, a waste of time, energy, and mental space. While others get caught up in who said what, who's offended, and who's playing the victim, Sigma males are focused on things that actually matter. They have no interest in backstabbing conversations, passive-aggressive games, or ego-driven conflicts. They recognize that most drama is nothing more than a distraction, a way for people to feel important or avoid dealing with their own issues, and they refuse to participate. This makes them outliers. In many social circles, gossip is the glue that holds people together. Friendships are built on shared enemies, constant venting, and the thrill of tearing others down. But Sigma males don't see the appeal. They see weakness in those who constantly complain but never take action. They see insecurity in those who need to talk about others to feel significant, and they have no respect for people who create problems just to have something to talk about. When a Sigma male realizes that a friendship is rooted in negativity, he doesn't argue or try to fix it. He simply leaves. He doesn't need the emotional roller coaster, the unnecessary drama, or the toxic cycles. His mind is too sharp to be dragged into meaningless conflicts, and his time is too valuable to waste on people who thrive on chaos. This is why he stands apart. While others are caught up in never-ending social games, he remains focused, unbothered, and untouchable. Number 4. They won't play the victim or the hero. Most people connect through struggle. They bond over complaints, hardships, and the need to be saved or to save someone else. Society encourages this, whether it's playing the victim and expecting sympathy, or stepping into the hero role to fix others. These dynamics keep relationships alive, creating a cycle of emotional dependence. But Sigma males reject this completely. They neither seek rescuers nor offer themselves as one. They don't complain about life, and they don't waste time trying to solve problems that aren't theirs. This mindset makes them unrelatable to the average person. People who thrive on emotional support find Sigma males distant. Those who expect constant validation see them as cold, and those who want someone to fix them feel abandoned when they realize a Sigma male won't play that role. It's not that they lack empathy, they simply believe in personal responsibility. They see hardship as something to overcome, not something to use for attention. They know that waiting for someone else to solve their problems is a losing game, and they refuse to engage with those who live that way. Because they won't step into either role, they disrupt the unspoken rules of most friendships. When someone plays the victim, a Sigma male won't coddle them. Instead, he'll tell them to take action. And when someone expects him to be their hero, he'll refuse, knowing that saving others often means carrying burdens that aren't his. This refusal to play the game makes them difficult to connect with. People who rely on emotional dependence feel exposed in their presence, forced to confront the reality that they alone are responsible for their lives. This is why Sigma males often walk alone. They don't seek pity, they don't beg for help, and they don't sacrifice themselves for others who refuse to change. In a world where people bond over shared struggles and savior complexes, the Sigma male stands apart, self-sufficient and untouchable. Number 5. They refuse to be a yes man. Most friendships survive on unspoken rules. Agree when you're expected to, support decisions even when they're questionable, and avoid confrontation to keep the peace. People don't always realize it, but a lot of friendships are built on silent compliance. A friend asks for a favor, and you say yes. A group makes a plan, and you go along with it. Someone makes a bad decision, and you bite your tongue to avoid conflict. It's a social game that most people play without thinking, but Sigma males, they refuse to play. A Sigma male is not a yes man. He doesn't agree just to avoid tension. He doesn't go along with things that don't sit right with him, and he doesn't bend his values just to keep a friendship intact. If something doesn't align with his principles, he says no, immediately, clearly, and without regret. This level of independence disrupts the flow of most friendships because people aren't used to it. They expect automatic support, blind loyalty, and quiet obedience. But with a Sigma male, they get something else entirely: brutal honesty, firm boundaries, and an unwavering sense of self. This makes him unpredictable. He won't show up just because it's expected. He won't do favors out of obligation. And he won't back down just to make someone else comfortable. If a friend tries to pressure him, guilt-trip him, or convince him to change his stance, he'll walk away without hesitation. To many, this feels like stubbornness. To some, it feels like arrogance. But to the Sigma male, it's simple. He will not betray himself for the sake of others. This is why friendships with Sigma males rarely last. Most people want easy, agreeable friends who nod along and support them no matter what. The Sigma male, however, values truth over harmony, principle over approval, and self-respect over social comfort. And if that means standing alone, so be it. Number 6. They dislike emotional dependence. Most friendships are built on emotional exchange. People vent, seek comfort, and expect constant reassurance. It's not always obvious, but underneath most relationships is an unspoken agreement. I'll be there for you if you'll be there for me. But Sigma males, they don't operate that way. They don't lean on others for emotional support, and they don't expect others to lean on them. This makes their friendships feel unbalanced, but not in the way most people assume. The imbalance comes from the fact that Sigma males are entirely self-sufficient, while most people are not. People often mistake this independence for coldness, but it's not that Sigma males don't care. It's that they refuse to play the emotional crutch. They won't sit and listen to endless complaints without solutions. They won't entertain pity parties or engage in conversations designed just to seek validation. They believe in facing problems head-on, not wallowing in them. This mindset makes it difficult for them to maintain friendships because for most people, emotional reliance is the foundation of connection. Sigma males also don't require constant check-ins, reassurance, or affirmation. They don't need to hear, "I'm proud of you," to know they're doing well. They don't seek approval for their decisions, and they don't need someone to lift them up when they're feeling low. Their emotional world is self-contained, and because of this, they don't fit into the typical friendship dynamic. This independence can make people uncomfortable. Friends might feel rejected when a Sigma male doesn't reciprocate their need for emotional support. They may see it as detachment or indifference when, in reality, it's just a different way of operating. Sigma males aren't heartless. They just don't believe in emotional dependency. And in a world where most friendships are built on mutual need rather than genuine connection, this makes them stand apart. It's not that they push people away. It's that they refuse to carry weight that isn't theirs to bear. Number 7. They hate wasting time on meaningless interactions. Time is the one thing you can never get back. And Sigma males understand this better than anyone. They don't waste a second on meaningless conversations, forced socializing, or people who bring nothing of substance to their lives. While most people engage in friendships out of habit, convenience, or loneliness, the Sigma male operates differently. Every interaction must have purpose, depth, or value. Otherwise, it's dead weight. And dead weight gets cut off. This makes them seem distant, even ruthless, but the truth is, they simply have no patience for surface-level connections. They don't care for small talk, empty flattery, or gossip disguised as bonding. They're not interested in catching up just for the sake of it, or maintaining friendships that exist only to pass the time. If a conversation isn't thought-provoking, if a relationship doesn't inspire growth, they see no reason to invest in it. And while most people fear being alone, Sigma males embrace it, knowing that solitude is far more productive than shallow company. Their approach confuses those who don't think the same way. Many take it personally when a Sigma male disengages, mistaking his lack of interest for arrogance or coldness. But it's not about superiority, it's about efficiency. He understands that time spent on meaningless interactions is time stolen from personal growth, mastering skills, or pursuing his ambitions. And to a Sigma male, nothing is worth more than progress. This is why Sigma males don't hold on to friendships out of obligation. They don't entertain pointless conversations just to be polite. They don't check in with people who only reach out when they're bored. If someone brings no real value to their life, they disappear without hesitation, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. Their time is their greatest investment, and they refuse to spend it on anything that doesn't push them forward. Number 8. They're not relatable in the traditional sense. Most people connect by exposing their weaknesses, talking about their insecurities, venting about their problems, and seeking validation from others. It's how friendships are formed and maintained. If you struggle with something and someone else says, "Me too," a bond is created. If you're unsure of yourself and someone reassures you, trust is built. This cycle keeps people emotionally tied to each other, dependent on shared struggles and mutual validation. But Sigma males don't operate this way, and that makes them difficult to relate to. They don't open up just to fit in. They don't overshare their problems to feel closer to others. They don't seek approval or constantly look for reassurance. They handle their struggles privately, process their emotions internally, and move forward without making a spectacle of their hardships. Because of this, most people can't find common ground with them. There's no familiar script to follow, no predictable exchanges of, "I feel the same way," or "Don't worry, you're doing great." And for those who rely on these interactions to feel connected, a Sigma male's self-sufficiency can feel like a wall. It's not arrogance, it's not detachment, it's just a different way of existing. Sigma males don't need others to validate their thoughts, feelings, or choices. They trust themselves, think independently, and make decisions without looking for approval. This level of emotional independence is rare, and most people don't know how to engage with it. They misinterpret it as being unapproachable, difficult, or even robotic. This is why Sigma males often find themselves standing alone. Not because they reject people, but because people don't know how to relate to them without the usual emotional crutches. In a world where most friendships are built on shared doubts and mutual validation, the Sigma male's quiet self-sufficiency makes him an enigma, respected but rarely understood. Number 9. They can't stand neediness. Most friendships come with invisible rules: reply quickly, check in often, and always be available when needed. People expect a certain level of emotional reassurance, whether they say it out loud or not. They want to feel important, to know someone is thinking about them, to have a constant source of validation. And if that reassurance isn't there, they take it personally. But Sigma males don't operate on these expectations. They don't feel the need to constantly check in, and they don't believe relationships should require that level of maintenance. To them, true connection doesn't need daily confirmation. It simply exists. This is where the disconnect happens. Most people mistake a Sigma male's independence for indifference. They assume that if he's not texting all the time or initiating plans, he must not care. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Sigma males value the people they choose to keep in their lives, but they refuse to be chained by obligation. They believe friendships should be effortless, not a full-time job. If a relationship requires constant nurturing just to survive, they see it as weak, built more on insecurity than genuine connection. Neediness drains them. The moment someone starts demanding attention, guilt-tripping them for not being present enough, or expecting them to play the role of an emotional caretaker, they start pulling away. Not because they lack empathy, but because they refuse to be controlled by unspoken social contracts. They don't need constant validation, so they don't understand why others do, and they certainly won't change their nature to accommodate it. This is why Sigma males often find themselves alone. Not because they can't form friendships, but because most people expect too much from them. They see relationships as a choice, not an obligation, and they only keep the ones that don't feel like a burden. If someone requires too much, they simply let go, not out of malice, but out of necessity. Number 10. They refuse to compete for attention. Friendships, whether people admit it or not, are often built on silent competition. Who's doing better in life? Who's getting more attention? Who's climbing higher, achieving more, or winning the unspoken battle for validation? Most people engage in this game instinctively, feeding off comparisons and using friendships as a measuring stick for their own worth. But Sigma males don't care about any of it. They don't seek approval. They don't measure their success against others, and they have zero interest in proving themselves in social circles. This makes them stand out, and not in a way that draws people in, but in a way that pushes them out, because they don't compete. They don't fit into the usual dynamics of friendship. They don't play along with the social rituals of one-upping each other, showing off, or constantly seeking recognition. They move in silence, focused on their own path, indifferent to whether anyone is watching. This unnerves people who thrive on comparison. A friend who doesn't care about winning is a friend who doesn't feed into their ego. And when Sigma males refuse to participate, they're often excluded entirely. It's not that they look down on others, it's that they genuinely don't see the point. Competing for attention is a waste of energy. Seeking validation is a distraction. And impressing people just to feel relevant is the kind of superficial game they refuse to play. They would rather focus on their goals, improve themselves, and let success speak for itself. This makes them difficult to keep around. In a world where friendships are often fueled by subtle rivalry, the Sigma male's refusal to engage makes him an outsider. He doesn't chase attention, and he doesn't need an audience. And because he won't play the game, he's usually left on the sidelines, not because he's lost, but because he was never competing to begin with. Number 11. They attract the wrong people and cut them off quickly. Sigma males don't actively seek attention, but they get it anyway. Their independence, mystery, and quiet confidence make them stand out in a way that naturally attracts people. But not all attention is good attention. The ones who gravitate toward them usually fall into two categories: those who admire them and those who want to use them. And neither group leads to real friendships. The admirers are fascinated. They see a Sigma male's self-sufficiency, his ability to move through life without needing validation, and they respect it, sometimes too much. Instead of relating to him as an equal, they put him on a pedestal, treating him as someone to be observed rather than connected with. This creates a disconnect. Sigma males don't want fans. They want real, balanced relationships. But when someone is in awe of you, they don't treat you like a friend. They either keep their distance out of intimidation or follow you around, hoping to absorb some of your energy. Either way, the bond never forms. Then there are the exploiters, the ones who see a Sigma male's strength and think they can take advantage of it. These people come disguised as friends, but their real goal is to latch on, drain resources, and use his energy, intelligence, or status for their own benefit. They mistake his quiet nature for weakness, assuming they can manipulate him without consequence. But that's where they're wrong. A Sigma male sees through people fast, and the moment he detects an ulterior motive, he cuts them off without hesitation. He doesn't give second chances, doesn't entertain excuses, and certainly doesn't let anyone linger in his life once he recognizes their true intentions. This cycle repeats itself over and over. The right people are rare and the wrong ones come in waves. But rather than settle for superficial friendships or allow himself to be used, the Sigma male chooses solitude over compromise, and that's why he always walks alone. Conclusion. Society teaches people that friendship is a requirement, that being surrounded by others is a sign of success, and that solitude is something to be feared. But Sigma males prove otherwise. They walk a different path, one that doesn't rely on social validation, forced connections, or shallow companionships. They don't push people away out of arrogance. They simply refuse to lower their standards. They don't tolerate weak mindsets, meaningless interactions, or the weight of unspoken expectations. And in a world that thrives on conformity, this sets them apart. Having no friends isn't a weakness for a Sigma male. It's proof of his strength. He doesn't need a crowd to feel important, a circle to feel secure, or a constant stream of social interaction to distract him from himself. He finds clarity in solitude, power in independence, and freedom in choosing his own path, even if it means walking it alone. But this isn't about being unreachable or disconnected from the world. It's about self-respect. Sigma males understand that time and energy are the most valuable resources, and they refuse to waste them on relationships that don't add real value. They don't settle, they don't chase, and they certainly don't compromise just to fit in. So if you resonate with this, understand one thing. You're not alone in your solitude. You're not missing out. You're simply living on your own terms without the need for external approval. And in a world that fears being alone, that makes you rare, that makes you powerful. Thank you for watching. God bless you.